Hello, wonderful people, and welcome back to this amazing tutorial with Online Math Expo. I'm going to expose you to how best to solve this wonderful Math Olympiad question. Now, when you look at this question, you'll be like, what aspect of mathematics, what topic is this? This is simply polynomial, okay? So to answer this question, why is it polynomial? I will answer you. It's polynomial because when you look at this, you notice you are having a variable. Variable are unknowns or those letters you are looking for. Those values, it changes, it varies, okay? So when you look at this, you see you have m as the base. Each time you have a variable as the base, and when you have the power is a number. Let's say 9. The power is number, okay? We call such a polynomial. So when you have this is a polynomial and it's polynomial of degree 9. So can you solve this question? Is this something you can do? Now, the secret to answering this kind of question is solving it straight like that may cause a lot of confusions. So I will advise you, reduce it. Let me show you how to reduce. So to do that, we are going to have solution. So look at what we have. To reduce this, we are going to have m to the power of 3 multiplied by 3. Why did I do it this way? I will show you. When you have a to the power of m to the power of n, according to your indices, it means a to the power of this power we multiply to give you mn. Did you see that? So if I have this, 3 times 3 will give me back 9. I can do same here to have m to the power of 3, then raise it to the power of 2. 3 times 2 gives me back 6. Everything is equal to 36. Now, why I did it this way is to help me to have common thing which I can work with easily. Now, at this point, you see that m to the power of 3 is repeating. So in that case, I can say, let m to the power of 3 be any letter. So you choose anyone. I want to choose y. You can choose anyone, okay? So replace y here. We are having y is taking this. So it will be y cubed plus y squared is equal to 36. So what did you observe? From degree 9, we have gotten to the one that has the highest power to be degree 3. We call this cubic. Now, how do we now solve this? We are going to use the factor theorem. Now, what does that mean? Before then, let's simplify this. So we are going to have y cubed plus y squared. This is positive. So we are taking it to the left side and we are going to subtract. Remember, it's positive. So subtract 36 from both sides. If you subtract it, it becomes 0. So since this is now cubic, what we are going to do using the factor theorem is to get one factor of this particular equation. Then it will enable us to get the remaining factors. Okay? Now, in doing that, remember, this is cubic. It means that the values of y are going to be 3. So to do that, we are going to use trial error. How do we do that? The coefficient of y cubed is 1, so there's no problem. So what you will do is you are going to look out for the factors of 36, both the positive and negative. Factors of 36 are those numbers that can divide 36 without remainder. And they are plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 4, and the rest of them. Now, out of these factors, you are going to test for it in this to know if it will give you y to give you equal to 0. Now, let's do a check. So in that check, we can say, let y be equal to 1. Plug it here, we're having 1 cubed plus 1 squared minus 36. This will give us 1 plus 1, 2 minus this. C is not equal to 0. You can also test for negative 1. This will give you negative 1. This is plus 1 minus 36. Still not equal to 0. You can also do same here. But looking at this, when you plug 2 here, you're getting 8, you're getting 4, which will give you 13 minus this, still not up to 0. So what do? Let's check the next term, which is 3. So we can now say, when y is 3, plug it here, we're going to have 3 cubed plus 3 squared minus 36. Will it be equal to 0? Let's check. 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. This will give us 9 minus 36. If you add this, it gives 36. Subtract is 30. So we are going to have 0. So it means that this is true. And because this is true, we are going to make it a factor. This is 0, okay? So to make it a factor, remember it's positive here. So we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. We have y minus 3 is the one we call a factor. So what do you do with this factor? You are going to now use it to divide the polynomial. Okay, so to do that, we are going to have, this is what we have now. Bring in the polynomial y cubed plus y squared minus 36. This part is what we are dividing. So we are dividing with y minus 3. And what is the rule? The rule is DMS. You divide, you multiply, you subtract. So use y, you use the first letter to divide the first, but when you are multiplying, you multiply the both terms. So let's go. Y will divide y cubed to give us y squared. You multiply. Y squared times y will give us y cubed. Multiply this, it will give you negative 3y squared. Then you subtract. This minus this is gone. This is 1 here, remember? So 1 minus 3 will give us 1 plus 3, which is 4y squared. You bring down this negative 36. I hope it's clear. So repeat the cycle again. Use y to divide this to give you 4. 4y. Multiply this, it gives you 4y squared. Multiply this, it gives you negative 12y. Then you subtract. This is 0. Now, when you look at this, you see this is 36 and this is 12y. They are not the same terms. So what I would advise you do is to adjust this, and in adjusting it, you can just put 0y before you write this so that you have a common term to subtract. Putting this does not change anything, okay? So we now have 0 minus 12, which is 0. This will give us positive, so it will give us 12y. So we're having 12y, you bring down negative 36. Repeat this cycle again. So we're having divide. Use this to divide, it gives you 12. Then what do you do again? You multiply. Multiply this, it will give you 12y. Multiply this, it will give you negative 36. Subtract is 0. So we are done dividing. See, there is no remainder. That's why we say this y minus 3 is a factor. Now that you've gotten this, what does it mean? It simply means that this equation here is the same as y minus 3 and the quotient y squared plus 4y plus 12 is equal to 0. You see? So what do you do? If these two are equal to 0, it means y minus 3 is 0, or y squared plus 4y plus 12 is equal to 0. So in that case, let's get the value of y. For here, you are going to add 3 to both sides. So if you add 3 here, it becomes 0. Add 3 here, becomes 0 plus 3. So y will give us 3. Now let's go to this. This is quadratic. The highest power of y is 2. So how do we do this? You have to check for the roots of this equation to know if it is real or complex. To do that, you use the formula, which is the discriminant formula, b squared minus 4ac. Reason is that our target on the value of m is only on real numbers. So in that case, how do we get this? We got it from the general quadratic equation given as this, where a is the quotient of y squared. So here a is 1, our b is the quotient of y, which is 4, and our c is 12. Plug it here. So we're going to have d as what? Square root of 4 squared minus 4, a is 1, and c is 12. So this will give us 16. If you multiply, you have 48. You notice that this is less than 0. And because the root is less than 0, this value inside is less than 0. It is giving us a complex value. So we don't need complex. So in that case, we are taking only the value of y as 3. Now, if y is 3, remember the question is not just on y, but on m. So how do you get the value of m? You made the statement that 3 raised to power, that m raised to power 3 is equal to what? Y. So put in the value of y here. We have m raised to power 3 is equal to 3. So in that case, we are going to have m will now be, to remove this power of 3, you are going to take the cube root of both sides. So m will give us what? Cube root of 3. Now that we have gotten this m value, we are going to check to know if we are really correct. So let's do a simple check. Put in the value of m here. We are going to have cube root of 3 raised to power of 9 plus cube root of 3 raised to power 6. Is it the same as 36? For this, remember, in your indices, if you have root of this, what it means is a raised to power 1 over. This will now become the denominator. So when you have this, for the inside, it is 3 raised to power 1 over 3 for the inside value. Then raise it to the power of 9. Okay? For this, it will still be 3 raised to power 1 over 3 raised to the power of 6. Is it equal to 36? Now, what do you remember? We also said a raised to power m raised to power n is a raised to power mn. So here you multiply. So you can easily multiply. This we cancel, we have 3 raised to power 3. And here we are going to have this cancelled. 1 times 2 will give us, this is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 2 will give us 2. Is it still equal to 36? 3 raised to power 3, remember, is 3 times 3 times 3 to give you 27. And this will give you 8. 3 times 3 will give us 9. So we have 9. And if you add this, you are going to have, this will give you 36. And it's the same thing with what we have at the right side. So we conclude that our m is this for the real value of m. You can also get it from when it is complex, but that is not what is considered in this contest. And I hope this answered a lot for you. Let's know how much in the comments. Remember, you can ask questions. We're always there to clarify you the more. Share this with your friends, and I will see you in our next class to discuss more. Subscribe for the more you will get. Bye-bye.